So today's challenge is a donation request from Frozen USB, and it is Call of the Dead Olympia only, which I was not excited for in the slightest because contrary to popular opinions, I actually hate Call of the Dead. I've always found the map extremely boring and just not enjoyable, but I'll give more reasoning on that later. Also, I'd like to mention that for this challenge, Frozen USB specifically said no grenades, no knife, and no M1911 to get points at all, so it's literally a true Olympia only challenge, no anything else, just Olympia. For now, I just buy the Olympia and just start going for headshots the best I can to get as many points possible because, I'm using a shotgun and I want to start opening the map as soon as possible. And so at the end of round 4, I started opening the doors to the ship because I wanted to get power on as soon as possible and get Jug. And then right after turning on the power and killing some zombies up there, I got a double points, which is what actually would be very helpful when I'm using Olympia. So I decided to risk my life for the double points and I ended up dying on round 5 and then just going on to attempt 2. And another thing that sucks about this challenge is I'm not allowed to use my knife, which means I can't do the shock trick, like exploit thing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, basically, if you get an insta-kill, then you let George shock a zombie, and you knife kill it while on the insta-kill, then George can't shock you for the rest of the game, which makes killing him way less annoying, and just dealing with him is just way easier because, he can't shock you at all. He basically will just run at you and attack you every now and then, but he can't actually shock you, which is what gets you killed 90% of the time. Then on this game, I once again got a double points on round 5 in almost the exact same spot, but this time there was only one zombie left, so I killed it, grabbed the nuke for the extra points. Then after playing through round 6, I went and got Jug with only a couple zombies left and finally felt somewhat safe in this challenge. I then spent round 7 trying my best to build up points to get Pack-a-Punch because I saw that it was spawning in somewhere, and since it was just at the back of the lighthouse, I knew it would be at one of the spots that I already had opened, and it ended up going to the ship, so I had Jug and Pack-Punch by round 7, which is way earlier than I expected because, this is an Olympia, it's not really that good for points. And since I spent basically all my points on Pack-Punch and Jug, I had to train in the spawn room, and it almost went horribly wrong super fast when I got red screen, but was luckily able to get away, and if I would have died that early after getting Jug and Pack-Punch, I would have been very mad. And after that, I opened up the beach area, which is where I usually train on Call of Dead and is the most popular area. And I figured since I won't have any ammo issues for a while, I could train here just fine. And I really didn't want to train and spawn this early because the Olympia kills fast for now, meaning there would just be zombies constantly respawning a lot. And there's just a ton of ground spawns in there that could screw me up. And I've also never trained in there before because I don't play this map. And when I do, I'm obviously not going to train in the spawn room. On round 11, I went and got my other perks, which were Stamina Up and Speed Cola. I got Stam because I just couldn't think of any other perks that would be helpful, and Stamina Up is obviously helpful from a training. And then Speed Cola, an obvious choice because, the Olympia is a double barrel, and when it's pack punched, you can't reload cancel it well at all. So Speed Cola was pretty much just a no-brainer. And then, if you're wondering why I didn't get any others, I didn't get Mule Kick because, I can only use one gun, so that would just be completely pointless. I didn't get Deadshot because, well, it's Deadshot. It's horrible, and because I'm on PC, it's even worse. And then I just didn't get PhD because I don't have explosives. I can't use the PhD flopping ability to kill, so I would have pretty much no use for it at all. And I actually didn't even remember that there was a double tap machine on Call of the Dead. For whatever reason, I just assumed you could only get it from George, so I didn't get that either. But I don't really know how much it would have helped with the Olympia anyway. And at the end of round 12, the last zombie dropped me a death machine, which I just let disappear because in my head, I just assumed that they wouldn't be allowed since it's kind of a gun. But a little bit after this, I actually asked Frozen USB, who gave me the challenge, if I could use them, and he said yes, so I did start picking them up later. And things were pretty chill for a while. The only time things would get scary at all was the occasional time where I'd accidentally hit George with an Olympia shot while hitting the zombies, and he would just mess up my training by shocking me constantly and shocking the zombies, so when they hit me, they shock me, but nothing ever really went too wrong. And I used my first death machine on round 16, and while it is helpful to kill the zombies, I was mainly using it to try and kill George because I can just spam him. And also, I haven't been showing it, but every time I get a max ammo, I just spam some Olympia shots into George to just slowly try to weaken him over time. Another helpful thing was insta-kills because obviously I can insta-kill the zombies, but the Olympia doesn't really have any range or any ability to spam, so while instas are helpful, I really can't maximize them like at all, and I was usually only able to kill like maybe one horde worth of zombies because this area really doesn't have fast spawns either. And when I got a max ammo, like I said earlier, I would spam as many shots as I could into George to just try and weaken him a little bit, while also trying my best to not die when he'd shock me while there were still a lot of zombies around. And as for what a normal round looks like in this challenge, it's pretty much just walk in a circle, shooting and reloading. I kind of just gave up trying to hit headshots because I just didn't feel like it was worth it to try and ADS and hit a headshot every time I was shooting. So I was mainly just walking in circles on the beach, hip firing, and just trying to kill them as fast as possible while also being efficient with my ammo. On round 20, I had my first ammo issue with me running completely out, so I just trained up a full horde and looked through a little window to make sure there were none still spawning in the PhD like building thing, and then just ran to spawn, grabbed ammo, and then when the horde got to me in spawn, I would just run past them and go straight back to the training spot through the PhD building. A bit later, I got a death machine and I used it to kill a horde, and I ended up getting an insta-kill from the horde, killed the rest of the round, and then killed George finally after 21 rounds, and I ended up getting a dead shot as my perk, which I guess isn't the worst because Mule Kick and PhD would have done literally nothing, so I wasn't really too annoyed by it because, I mean, really none of those perks are that helpful. I think the most helpful would have been Double Tap, but even then, it's not really that great. Also, you probably noticed when I picked up the death machine from George, I actually got a death machine and not the Wonderwaff. That's just because I've never bothered doing the Easter egg on PC because I never play this map. I have done it on console, so I mean, I have done it before and I probably could because it's really easy, but I just never bother playing Call of the Dead because I just don't like it. And I'll finally give my reasoning as to why I don't like this map at all. Firstly, the fog. Any map having fog is just annoying. Thankfully, you can turn it off on PC, which is what I did. That's why the map looks like this. But I just really hate the snowstorms like that. And secondly, the moving pack punch, I think it's just annoying. I having to wait for the thing to spawn in because it's like teleporting. And then the wonder weapons are both pretty garbage unless you're playing co-op, but I never high round in co-op. And I just think the box trades on this map are the most annoying of any map in zombies because of how bad some of the spots are, and I really just think the only good part of this map is George, because he's a good, well-balanced boss. Can be annoying at times, but he rewards you greatly if you take the time to kill him. So yeah, that's pretty much just my reasoning behind not liking this map. I've just never understood the love for it. It's just really boring, and I guess high rounding it in co-op could be fun, but if I'm high rounding, I would much rather just play solo so I don't have to rely on someone else. But back to the challenge though, and at this point, just know that I was buying ammo pretty much every round, just running to spawn, coming back, and then this time when I bought ammo, I killed a couple zombies in spawn, and of course, right after getting ammo, I got a max ammo, because that's just my luck. At the end of round 24, I really wanted to see how much of all, like how much damage all my ammo of the Olympia would do to weaken George. So I spent a couple minutes just running around in the spawn room, shooting him over and over. And his light that's supposed to like signify his health didn't change color at all. So I guess I really didn't do much damage to him with all of the ammo of the Olympia. I was even trying to hit some headshots. I don't know how like much extra like headshot damage does to George. I'd assume it's some, so I was trying to, but a good portion of them were probably just body shots. And then on round 25, I wanted to try a new and maybe faster way to buy ammo since I always had to wait and make sure there was no zombies spawning in front of me on the PhD way. So I opened the boat way and then ran to spawn that way, got ammo, then ran through the PhD area. But after getting cut off by a zombie and almost blocked by George as well, I decided I was not trying that again and would just stick with the slower, safer way of getting ammo. But the slower way wasn't always safe because on round 27, I didn't notice some zombies that were still up there until I was already running up the stairs, and I got red screened getting past all of them. Luckily, there were no more in that room, so I got out safely, but that could have easily been my first down, and if I went down in that little tiny area, there was a good chance that I would probably just game over as soon as I got up. And after this, I decided to just start grabbing ammo and then running through the boat area to get back to the training like spot rather than getting the horde together and spawn running back through PhD because it just seemed like it was faster and also safer because sometimes when I'd run back through PhD, George would be on those stairs walking up or he'd be like in that little area and I didn't want to get blocked by him. And for round 28, you can look at my timer and you can see the round starts at about an hour, 14 minutes, and 45 seconds. And then when I get to round 29, you can see it took a little under 6 minutes to get through the round. So round 28 took nearly 6 minutes, which isn't terrible compared to some challenges I've done. But for only round 28, that is pretty bad even for a challenge video. And then not much happened on round 29. I pretty much just got through it with no issues. It just took a while, but I hit round 30 in a little under an hour and a half. So pretty slow, but it could be worse, I guess. And the game was basically the same as it had been for like the last 15 rounds. It's just slower, and now the Olympia is way weaker, so I have to buy ammo more. And it really just shows how much Double Tap 2.0 really helped out in BO2. Because when I did Olympia only on Town to round 50, like over a year ago, the rounds were really not slow, like at all, until probably about round 40. But a while later on round 32, I almost got trapped while getting all the new zombies together and shooting them. Luckily, I was able to get past the zombies, but that was super close and I could have easily gotten stuck and taken it down. And then on round 33, I picked up a death machine, but because the thing is so weak now, I wasn't even bothering with it to try and kill George, since it was just too risky because it couldn't really kill the zombies fast at all, and I didn't want to die trying to kill George since he'd probably just end up giving me a perk that was completely useless anyway. On round 34, I ended up getting lucky and getting a max ammo with only 2 bullets left in the Olympia, so that's nice because it just saved me some time from having to run all the way back to the spawn room to buy ammo and then run all the way back. Then finally at round 35, it was time to switch away from the beach and go to the training spot into the spawn room, since the Olympia wall buy is right there and I can just buy ammo instantly. The only issue is this area has tons of ground spawns and is pretty tight, but I was somewhat confident that I could make it work. And the thing that was annoying me the most in this area was just the ground spawns. But secondly, since it's so tight and George is always right around the zombies, he kept shocking the zombies. So anytime they were hitting me, I would get shocked. And it was just super annoying getting shocked constantly because I have to be close to shoot the Olympia if I actually want to do some damage. And since they're all electrocuted, it was just really, really annoying. But getting ammo is very convenient since it's literally right here in the room. I literally just grab it and then just run back and get back to shooting immediately. And then on round 37, I finally ended up taking my first down of the game due to me just getting too close to George while going past some zombies and getting shocked a bunch and not being able to move. I got hit like 4 times almost instantly. And then when I got up, a zombie got like flung right next to me and I got hit once. Then there were some zombies running into the spawn room that nearly killed me, but I was able to dodge them, run to Quick Revive, buy it, but unfortunately I was not safe yet because the other side of the spawn room was blocked off by a couple zombies, so I had to turn around, jump through the water, and then was finally safe to run around and grab all my other perks. And I obviously went for Jug first and decided to just open up the door that was on the stairs to get out since it's safer, then ran straight to Stamina, then straight to Speed Cola, and back to training and spawn, this time with no Deadshot, unfortunately, since, I mean, Deadshot was obviously just carrying the entire game. And just a couple minutes later, while getting ammo, I got almost trapped in the entire horde, but managed to jump out and get away a red screen, and I actually don't even know how I managed to survive that. Another couple minutes later, and I got a death machine and stood out on the Quick Revive Island and spammed it, and actually ended up killing George with it again, which was great since it means another death machine to help kill some more zombies, and also another free perk. Unfortunately for me, the perk ended up being stupid ass mule kick, which just does nothing for me in this challenge, but the death machine was nice to just try and get some kills with, even though it was really, really weak at this point. To once again show how long the rounds are taking, my timer is at about 2 hours, 40 minutes, and 30 seconds when 38 starts. And then later in the round, I got blocked by a ground spawn and got hit by a zombie that came from the water and then red screen, but was able to escape and survive once again. The spawn room was just really intense through like the entire time I was training in there. And so I'm just going to show the rest of the round in like 20 times speed to show you that I am literally just walking in circles, shooting over and over and reloading. And it was actually incredibly boring at this point. And just to add on to that, I had woken up at like 9 or 10 p.m. the day before, been up the entire night, editing and then posting the 5 worst room video, and it was about 1 p.m. when I was playing this, so I was pretty tired and was literally just walking in circles shooting in Olympia over and over. And when I finally get to the end of the round, it had taken over 10 minutes to get through the one round. This challenge was actually just insufferable. And at the start of 39, I made the mistake of picking up a death machine while all the zombies were still spawning in. So while it did get me a couple kills, I now had to train up the entire horde while not being able to sprint, and you can probably imagine how that went on round 39 in an extremely tight room. So I took my second down, but that's fine because all I need to do is get up and get my perks back. But when I got up, the path to Quick Revive was blocked off by some zombies, so I tried running the other way in the spawn room, and it was also blocked off, and I tried to jump past all the zombies, and I just got trapped pretty much instantly, ending my game on round 39, nearly 3 hours into it, and I'm not about to do that again. Absolutely not. So, Call of the Dead Olympia only, I'd say I did pretty good, all things considered. You know, me not playing this map like ever, and my only downs really being after I switched to a way harder training spot. So, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.